Welcome to the Week in Review. I'm your host, Brew. Coming up on this episode of the Week in Review, an honest reflection of 4 popular strategies in the battle against depression. Healthy eating, cleaning, caring for living things, and baking. And a personal insight into what it's like having a panic attack. First up, healthy eating. Sometimes it's very hard to find the motivation to eat well, especially when your appetite has shriveled up and died. There was a time when my brain was malfunctioning to the point where I couldn't even look at the ingredients I had in my cupboard and come up with a meal, putting them all together. But thankfully, I seem to be beyond this now. Maintaining a balanced, healthy diet is undoubtedly a good thing for your physical well-being, but I'd say it's more difficult to notice a positive difference to your mood and mental state. I find that the immediate benefit of comfort food is far more noticeable. The next strategy under the microscope is cleaning. Now, some say that a messy room is a sign of mental illness, and whilst it can be hard to find the motivation to clean and tidy when you're depressed, this is not true. It's not if you have a messy room you are depressed. That's a myth. The idea behind the strategy of tidying and cleaning being good for you is that simply a clean, tidy living space somehow makes your thoughts more organised. For me, cleaning and tidying represents a manageable task, one that can be completed to achieve some sort of sense of accomplishment, a quick win, if you will. Unfortunately, for me, my head will always tell me that I should be doing more.
What are you doing presenting the Week in Review? You haven't even made your bed yet.
Next up, caring for living things. Flowers, houseplants, pets. Certain houseplants have relaxing properties, such as lavender, chamomile, aloe vera, peppermint, and jasmine. I've certainly enjoyed the colour that flowers have brought into my life and feel some sort of sense, well, a small sense of pride, seeing bunches of flowers blossom, and when they live for longer than a week, that's good as well. However, I did feel like a failure when I dropped a football on this plant. Having cared for a friend's Sphinx cat while they were on holiday, I can say I loved having the company, even if little Lucifer was a little needy at times. However, when I subsequently gave him food poisoning, it made me feel awful, and I thought, like at the time, I was unable to care for anything, any living thing effectively, so that sort of brought me down. And last up, the last strategy in the battle against depression up for review this week is baking. There are a lot of positives under this one for me. Firstly, if you mess it up, it's inconsequential in comparison to caring for a living thing, that is. Secondly, it demands a certain amount of presence and concentration to ensure that you use the right measurements. Don't burn the thing. Finally, you end up with something yummy and you can share it with friends. If you have a strategy for managing low mood that you'd like me or you'd like to see me try out, then let me know somewhere on the internet. Next up, anxiety and panic attacks. This week up, I put out a video describing what it's like to experience a panic attack. I focused on how many thoughts I have pinging all over the place, rather than the physical signs that you might recognise, such as your hyperventilation, sweating, trembling, nausea. So feel free to check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Now I'll hand over to me in a hat with the sport. Thank you, Brew. I'm Brew in a hat with the sport, and this week Brew's been rolling out the hits at the Dodgeball Super League. It looks like he's trying to start off some sort of star pose craze after he's completed a successful dodge in the middle. A star is born. I've been Brew and a Hat with the sport. Thank you. Back to you, Brew, in the studio. Thanks, Brew and a Hat. This has been your week in review, and I've been your host, Brew.
Why not stick around and watch some more videos? I've made a playlist for Brew Reacts and Diary of a Depressionista, so hope you enjoy those.
Thank you.